cut it off, but the toe was cut clear off of it, and it had a little flare going on, so I took the flare off and cleaned the foot up to where it's normal. Then I put we had to make some new holes in the shoes. And so you had to do it, you had to do a whole lot of revamping work on the shoes and the foot to get this horse to where it was. Now, if I remember correctly, wasn't this one he had his toes straight off yesterday? Right, so yesterday, this horse basically had his toes dubbed off at a 90-degree here. This is what Tom's done. When did you do this? Overnight? Did you get any sleep? I mean, did you do this at night or what? Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't sleep.
So, that's a good farrier, but he obviously didn't listen to the business presentation. He's supposed to get time off.
And do you have any thing to offer about the adhere and how long it lasts and everything?
All right, well, tell us what you did. Tell us how the horse is moving, and explain to our owner how...
Tom, you
what
did
she
it
needs to
your way,
do.
so you need to tell us how it's
Yeah, I did a little different than what Vettec says, but they say to put the spacers underneath the shoe. I didn't do that because I was using nails. I've done this before and it stayed for 16 weeks. Usually,
Are you advising it to stay on 16 weeks?
I can't guarantee that, but I would like to see if the shoe's tight in 8 weeks, I would run it as long as I can to get a foot to grow.
So what you're basically doing here is you're protecting that hoof wall to get growth to it so that we don't have that dub toe situation happening.
Exactly. It's got a drop sole to start with, so whoever does this, once it gets a foot, if they would trim it, leave it about a 1/4 inch long so that sole isn't on the ground. There's no foot there at all. It's all Vettec. Everything on that foot's Vettec.
All right, so now, are you watching and paying attention? And who's going to be shooting this after Tom leaves?
Right behind you.
Chris is going to be handling. Well, I'm going to turn this over to Chris because when I get back to Missouri, I won't be seeing the horse again. So I'm going to turn this over to Chris so these guys can discuss what they're doing. But if you guys remember yesterday, the change in this horse, I didn't know it was the same horse. I really didn't. I looked at that and went, here you go, Chris.
Okay, when you bring it back in 6 or 8 weeks, I'll be person to take care of it.
Okay. In the meantime,
Chris, in the
It
meantime.
needs to be taped. I'll put the tape on it before it leaves. We'll heat it up again with the heat gun so it's good and dry. We'll tape it, and then it's up to you. You'll have to keep it.
Are you going to keep him in the dry stall and keep it clean?
yes.
'Cause if
Explain
don't,
what you mean
do
by
know
being
it's going
taped,
to
please.
Sure, how to do it.
Well, tell us now, how you
I'll
gonna tape it?
I've got some tape on there. It's like furnace tape. Somebody, CJ said they got some Gorilla tape or something. It's like furnace tape. The stouter the better. And tape it on there really, really well, but keep it off the hairline. Keep it just below the cornea, man. And you'll have to change it periodically to help keep that Vettec dry.
So it's okay to keep it taped daily
Yep.
on the
Yes.
hook wall?
Yes.
What do I do about the bottom?
keep it take out with the hook tape.
2 or 3 times a day, good?
You can't. It's not going to affect it that much because it's nailed.
Okay.
So, do the best you can to keep it dry. Keep the horse in at night. You go to work obviously in the day, so make sure the tape's on there good. Turn it out. If it's going to rain, I'd suggest leaving it in. But
That grass will stay wet till 11, 12 o'clock every
yeah,
day.
she's working, so she can't do that. So just turn it out. Deal with it. That's the way it is. I mean, it's better than what it was. I've done this before and never taped it, and it stayed in it. Same thing. Not quite that bad, but the toe was cut off just behind the first nail holes. So we punched more nail holes, and it's kind of dangerous driving back where I drove nails, but it didn't hurt it. It had, like I said, it was back about a 1/4 inch behind the first 2 nail holes. So that's give most farriers how much toe was gone off of that horse. So, and I've had that before in the past. I've used Vettec the same way I did here, never taped it, and it was in there. I went back and reset it. I actually took the nippers and cut through the glue, filed it, put the shoe back on, and never lost any Vettec. And it was still in there when I went back, and then it fell out but the foot was grown out by then. And that had been 16 weeks. But I don't do it, she's gonna shoot me, but I don't do it the way they say, but I do it a little different than what they say.
Whenever it works, works.
Right, but it's a good product. I mean, I got all of it on the truck.
Now, the reason his feet were cut off is because they had a tendency to grow like a platypus or whatever.
Well, they will be. Well, it's going to be up to Chris now to keep it straight. I'll show him what I did. I think if you watch me.
Now, you've seen the way I tried the different feet. Biosin, is that Biosin? You've been using that in remission, so I've been getting a little bit of growth, about that much in 6 weeks. But that foot has a tendency to, instead of growing down, it's growing out like that. Is this going to stop now that you've done this, or?
Just keep filing it off, don't let it get like that.
Well, I'm saying when it
Just
grows,
keep-
instead of growing down, it's
But
growing
keep,
out.
he'll have to keep it from that. I filed off all the rings on it. I cut everything, when I was done with it, with the Vettec off there, it kind of was goofy looking. But there's no rings on it. Well, you can look at it. Where I cut that off, there's no rings on there. Around the heels, I didn't get up just below the coronary band. I didn't take that off.
Right.
But Chris will have to do that in time. As it grows out, because that's new growth coming. And as it grows out, hopefully the foot will be just a tad bigger. Look at, there are 2 different size shoes on that horse.
Yes.
And eventually, I believe it'll be back to the same, they'll be the same. There's a 1 on this one and not on that one. I
That's
believe,
because that one wasn't getting the blood flow that it
yeah, there's nothing there.